Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the confusing texts of the corporate world. Today we're diving into a report that is all about restructuring and support agreements. Buckle up, because it's going to be an interesting ride. Before we jump in, if you love cutting through the corporate jargon to get to the real story, make sure you are subscribed, and hey, if you want to connect with other business and finance geeks, we've got a Discord community linked in the description below. Seriously, you won't want to miss out. So, what is the big news? It seems like a company called Office Properties Income Trust, or OPI for short, is going through some major changes. They voluntarily filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. Think of it as a formal way for companies to reorganize their debts and try to get back on their feet. This filing happened on the 30th of October 2025. Now, OPI is not alone in this. Some of its subsidiaries are also part of these Chapter 11 cases. This is where our main company in this report, the RMR Group Inc., comes into play. RMR Group is a majority-owned subsidiary, and it acts as a manager for OPI. Because of this relationship, on the 30th of October, RMR Group LLC, on behalf of OPI, entered into what is called a Restructuring Support Agreement, or RSA for short. This agreement is basically a pact between OPI, some of its lenders, and some of its subsidiaries. It lays out the terms for how they plan to get through this bankruptcy. Under this RSA, RMR Group LLC has agreed to new terms for OPI's business management and property management agreements. These new agreements are set to kick in once OPI's plan of reorganization or restructuring plan is approved and becomes effective. Let's talk about what these new management deals look like. The initial term for these new agreements will be 5 years. For business management, RMR Group LLC will receive an annual fee of $14 million for the first 2 years. That is a pretty significant chunk of change. On the property management side, RMR Group LLC will get a 3% property management fee and a 5% construction supervision fee. These percentages are actually the same as what they were getting under the old agreements. So, while there is a big restructuring happening, RMR Group is looking to maintain its income from managing OPI's properties. It is important to note that the current management agreements will continue to be in effect while OPI goes through the bankruptcy process. RMR Group will keep managing OPI's business as usual during this period. Now, for the big picture of OPI's financial health, this restructuring plan, if it goes through, is expected to significantly reduce OPI's total debt. Right now, they have about $2.4 billion in total debt. The plan aims to bring that down dramatically to around $1.3 billion once they emerge from bankruptcy. This is a massive deleveraging, meaning they will be carrying much less debt on their books, which is usually a good sign for a company trying to recover. If you want to see the nitty-gritty details of this restructuring support agreement and the management term sheet, they've been filed as an exhibit with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OPI itself filed this on the 31st of October 2025. Now, like most corporate filings, this report comes with a big disclaimer about forward-looking statements. They're basically saying that certain statements in this report are predictions about the future, and those predictions might not actually happen. Things like, we expect, we believe, or it is possible fall into this category. They are warning investors that actual results could be very different from what they're saying today. This section reads like a laundry list of what could go wrong. They're worried about OPI not getting the necessary approvals from the bankruptcy court for various steps in the process. They're also concerned about whether OPI can actually go through with the restructuring transactions, and of course if they can successfully reduce their debt. It also mentions RMR Group's ability to meet its obligations under the RSA, and specifically entering into those new management agreements. The risks they've outlined are pretty extensive. They're concerned about the length and outcome of the bankruptcy cases, and if OPI ends up in a protracted long restructuring process. They're also looking at the impact this bankruptcy will have on OPI's operations, its reputation, and its relationships with tenants, lenders, and suppliers. And it is not just about OPI, they're also worried about how this might affect RMR Group's relationships with its own clients, investors, and lenders. The possibility that OPI's equity could be cancelled is also a serious risk mentioned here. And finally, we have the signature section. This is where the company officially signs off on the report, confirming that, to the best of their knowledge, the information presented is accurate. Matthew P. Jordan, who is the Executive Vice President and Chief Operating Officer, has signed on behalf of the RMR Group Inc. on the 31st of October 2025. Now, let's put on our analyst hats and see what this all means. This whole situation with OPI filing for bankruptcy and RMR Group stepping in to help restructure is a significant event. On one hand, RMR Group seems to be positioning itself to continue earning management fees even during and after the bankruptcy. The agreement to get a $14 million annual fee for business management and the 3% and 5% property and construction fees show that RMR Group is trying to secure its revenue streams. They are also focusing on the reduction of OPI's debt from $2.4 billion to $1.3 billion. This is a massive improvement in OPI's financial foundation, which is crucial for its long-term survival and for RMR Group's continuing business relationship. However, there are always considerable risks in bankruptcy proceedings. The success of the entire restructuring hinges on the court's approval of OPI's plan and the willingness of all parties to cooperate. RMR Group is exposed to the risks associated with OPI's potential operational disruptions, reputational damage, and the overall uncertainty of a bankruptcy process. If OPI struggles to recover, it could impact RMR Group's income and its overall business. The forward-looking statements section clearly illustrates the many potential pitfalls. We're talking about potential cancellation of OPI's equity, which means shareholders could lose everything. This highlights the high stakes involved. The company's strategy seems to be to leverage its management expertise to guide OPI through its financial troubles, hoping to emerge with a stronger, less indebted entity that can continue to provide RMR Group with management fees. The strategy is sound in principle. Assuming OPI can navigate the complex legal and financial waters of bankruptcy, the key opportunity here for RMR Group is to maintain and potentially grow its relationship with OPI, provided OPI can successfully restructure. The main risk is the inherent unpredictability of bankruptcy cases and the potential for further financial distress at OPI. Alright, that is our breakdown of the RMR Group Inc.'s latest filing. What is your take on this restructuring scenario and what it means for RMR Group and OPI? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps us out, and make sure to subscribe for more corporate deep dives. Don't forget to join our Discord community, also linked in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.